So this is just a short video to accompany the first in a series of blogs on access control. And in that first blog, we learn about the three main types of access control system. So a self-contained offline system, a split offline system where the door controller is separate and is inside the secured area, and then the online systems or network systems for the larger and more elaborate projects. So this is an example of a self-contained offline system, and we also learn about the 7 types of products or categories of products that make up a typical access control system. This is just an example of how those products may appear on a typical cost-effective self-contained access control application. In this case, a door within our offices. Previously they were secured by way of this union code handle. This is now redundant, it's still in place, but you cannot use this lever from the outside, and there's now a hardwired, real simple access control system in place instead. So in this case, parts 1 and 2 of the 7 parts we learn about, categories of product, the user interface and the door controller are combined because this is a self-contained offline access control system. So the door controller is within this keypad, and in this case the user interface is indeed a keypad. It's also got a proximity reader built into it, which we'll cover in a minute. So keypad to get in, parts 1 and 2. Part 3, our locking device, in this case is an ANSI type electric release, and that's working with a standard, a DIN standard lock case, a mortise latch. So mortise latch case, ANSI release. Part number 4, our request to exit device. Now, the reason this system was put in place was at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. The idea was to limit the extent to which people had to interact with levers and furniture when passing through doors. So in this case, it's actually a touch-free or contactless request to exit device that unlocks the door. Part 5, the emergency exit device. Well, in this application, the internal part of the union code handle remains in use. So there's no need for an emergency break glass to override the system. There's still a mechanical means of egress through the door as well. Part 6, our power supply. So this was temporarily put in place, this system, and the power supply is an enclosed box power supply, and instead of being hardwired to a fuse spur, it's on flex, on a plug top, put in place, but could just as easily be hardwired into a fused spur. So there's your power supply unit, usually found within the secured area. And then moving back outside the secured area again, so your credential, part 7, is a code in this case, but could also be a fob, because again, to be contactless, present a fob to this reader, the lock status will change, and you're through the door. So yeah, credential in this case, either a code or a fob. So that's how those 7 main parts of an access control system are laid out in this specific scenario for a cost-effective, easy to install, self-contained offline access control system.